What's good, what's good, what's good on this Sunday? You know we right back at it, man. Today is Sincere Sundays. We've been linking up every single Sunday for like the last 2 months. And you know, I couldn't miss a date. I had to show up because we're basically, we're practicing what we preach, man. And we know that consistency can build momentum, but not being consistent can definitely kill momentum. But hey, if you don't mind, do something that won't cost you a dime and take less than 1 minute of your time. Make sure you do go subscribe to the Genuine Love YouTube channel. Also visit opratdayleftday.com. Order your gratitude journal so you can write down the things that you're grateful for. And hey, man, we gonna just dive right into it because I know everybody be busy. Sunday for me is like a day that I get a chance to do things like with loved ones, friends, family, and things like that because I pretty much be on the go all throughout the week, man. And I'm just definitely just grinding very hard to make sure I get to that next level no matter what. No excuses, no anything. Ain't nothing to blame, man. It's just putting that work in. But I definitely know everything is definitely going to pay off. So, hey, man, enough of that. And I know y'all got things to do. So, hey, the topic today, you are a millionaire. I know a lot of y'all like, what? What did he just say? I said it, man. You are a millionaire. And I know a lot of people gonna be like, man, what is he talking about? Is he talking about speaking stuff into existence? Is he just talking about just speaking positivity, or is he just speaking it as a admiration, or what? No, actually I'm not. I'm saying you are a millionaire. And so first and foremost, if I say you are a millionaire, let's definitely know the definition of a millionaire. For a millionaire is a person whose wealth amounts to $1 million or more in some unit of currency, such as the dollars, or it could be pounds, or whatever it may be. But it's just a person whose wealth amounts to $1 million or more. And so, let's see. The first thing I want to ask you is, do you want to be a millionaire? And generally speaking, if you ask a person, do you want to be a millionaire? A lot of them gonna tell you, yeah, hell yeah. You know what I'm saying? But, I just want to ask it, do you want to be a millionaire? And a lot of people gonna say yes. But what if I told you that you are already a millionaire? People gonna be like, how, man? I barely got $5 in my account, bro. I barely got $100 to my name or something like that. You know what I'm saying? However, man, you are a millionaire. All right, let's just use some examples. Just talk with me for a minute. If you don't mind, we just gonna talk for a minute. So let's just communicate, bro. We do it every Sunday. This Sincere Sundays, baby. So let's just use an example. So let's use some numbers. Let's say you currently right now, you have a job that you're making $50,000 a year on. You're making a salary. Let's agree on that part. You're making a salary of $50,000 a year for a job that you agreed to do. Whatever that job may be. You may work for a school, you may work for the city or the county, whatever it may be, but you make $50,000 a year. All right, you work that job for 20 years. What does that accumulate to? 50,000 times 20 years, that's $1 million. You're a millionaire over that time frame. You done accumulated $1 million worth of income. And what did we say a millionaire is? Is a person whose wealth amounts to $1 million or more in some form of currency. Well, you didn't accumulate $1 million or more over a 20-year span. All right, hold on, time out then. Let's bag it up a little bit. Let's bag it up a little bit. All right, let's say for the person that be like, well, I don't even make $50,000. I just make minimum wage. I just make whatever it may be. Let's say you make $25,000 a year. Now, that's something definitely I know. You definitely should be making at least $25,000 a year unless you just ain't trying, period. It shouldn't be no excuse you ain't making $25,000 a year. Out here in these days, come on, we ain't gonna even go too deep in that. But let's say you're making $25,000 a year. All right, that $25,000 a year, if you do that job for 40 years, you done accumulated $1 million. So that $25,000 job that you work a year, in 40 years worth of time, You done accumulated $1 million, which will make you a millionaire. Again, let's go back to it again. A millionaire, a person whose wealth amounts to $1 million or more in some form of currency. You done accumulated $25,000 per year times 40 years. You done accumulated $1 million. However, for the person that's making $50,000 a year, or for the person that's making $25,000 a year, by you accumulating that $1 million over that 20-year time frame or that 40-year time frame, does that make you rich? Or does that make you wealthy, I should say? No. Why? Because of the time it took you to accumulate that $1 million. The time that it took you to accumulate that $1 million, it took you 40 years. Or it took you 20 years to accumulate it. Now, if you make $1 million in a year versus that person that's having to take 20 years to make it, or versus that person that has to work 40 years to make it, does that make you wealthy? Yes, it does. Does it make you rich? In some places, it would make you rich, unless you live in somewhere like maybe New York or, LA, California, things like that. Some states that is very expensive. Well, $1 million, shoot, that's pretty much like minimum wage everywhere. So, but let's gather it back. Would that make you rich or wealthy? Yes, it would. Because of the time it took you to accumulate that $1 million. You made $1 million 20 times faster than the person that made $50,000 a year. Or you made $1 million 40 times faster than the person who's currently making $25,000 a year. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, now that we done actually thought about it, and now that we all can agree that, hey, a person that even makes $50,000 a year is a millionaire, it just takes them 20 years to accumulate that $1 million. Or a person that makes $25,000 a year, they still are a millionaire. It just takes them 40 years to accumulate $1 million. So the first thing we have to do is change up our way of thinking. We have to basically know that it's possible. Because you currently are a millionaire now. And we have to change our way of thinking. We have to think of ways that, hey, how can I make what I'm making now a lot faster? Because you already are making, for the person that's even making $25,000 a year, what can you do to improve on the skill sets that you have, or add to the skill sets that you have, that can make it where you don't have to wait for 12 months just to make $25,000? You can make that $25,000 a lot quicker. How can I make, instead of waiting a year for my $25,000, how can I make $25,000 a month? Or how can I make $25,000 every 3 months? Because if you make $25,000 every 3 months, that's basically you making $100,000 every year. And that means that you accumulated $1 million, every 10 years? Boom. So we just got to figure out ways that we can get rich faster, or how we can accumulate the wealth a lot quicker. That way we don't suffer from, inflation or taxation, because the longer it takes us to make the money, the less our money is going to be worth due to inflation, because inflation basically lowers the value of the money that we accumulate. So even though we may still be accumulating $1 million, well, guess what? 20 years from now, $1 million won't be able to buy us the same amount of assets or the same amount of things that we could buy with it today. 20 years from now, in the future, $1 million probably gonna be just like less than $100,000 nowadays. So we got to change up our way of thinking, because like one of the great books I read. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. Hold on 1 second. I think I got it over here. Oh, this is a good one too. Think and Grow Rich. That's definitely a good one. I don't think I got it over here. I may have left it. It may be in another room. But Rich Dad, Poor Dad. This is the other book. This is the Cash Flow Quadrant. I read that as well. It's a great book. If you haven't read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, definitely read it. But it breaks down that we definitely have to change up our way of thinking, because the poor mindset, let's just say mindsets, a poor mindset thinks hey, I'm going to get a job or I'm going to go to work just to pay bills. That's pretty much their way of thinking is they go to work just to pay their bills. They go to clock in, they clock out. They go to work, hard workers, great people. But the only thing they think about is, okay, let me go ahead and think about, okay, I got this bill to pay, I got that bill to pay. Everything that they're working for, they're working just to give it all away. They're going to work they're going to work just to give their money away to somebody else, to pay their bills to somebody else. Now the middle class, the people that are, living a little bit better, got a little bit more money to spend and things like that. In that book, Rich Dad Poor Dad, it shows that a lot of your middle class people, they just go to work to maintain good credit. They have a little better lifestyle. They're able to do a little bit more because they're maintaining their credit. They have a lot a better relationship with their money and things like that. And so the banks and things like that are more willing to, offer them more amenities and things like that. So they're more so just maintaining their credit, whereas it's giving them a perception where, that they have like a rich look to them. However, they're maintaining as well. They're just getting by as well, just like a lot of individuals are. They're just getting by. Sometimes they're living above their means, but they are capable of maintaining good credit. Now, this is where everything begins to separate. This is why the rich get richer and everybody else get poor. Because the rich, they automatically think, whether they going to work or whatever they're doing for their income out of their business and things like that, soon as they get their money, they're trying to think of ways to get their money and use their money to make more money. Yeah, and I hope you follow me. So they're trying to, as soon as they get $1 in, they're trying to figure out, how can I push this dollar out and make even more money? Have you ever heard some of the great speakers or some of the great entrepreneurs and things like that? They tell you that all debt isn't bad debt. Some debt is great debt, especially when you're investing it into your future or investing it into your business to generate more income or more revenue to come in. It's just all a mindset. And so basically, as soon as they get $1 in, they're trying to spend that dollar to make more dollars. And that's why, especially with me being a black man or black itself anyway, it's critical that we start trying to keep a track of our spending and things like that a lot better. Because when you look at all the other ethnicities and things like that, everyone keeps their money in their own community a lot longer than us blacks. Because statistics show that us blacks, man, as soon as we get our money, we spend our money. Majority of us spend our money right away to everyone else, versus when you got your Chinese, they're able to spend their money within themselves so many times before they spend it outside their community. When you got your whites, the Caucasians, they're able to spend their money within their own people so many times before they send it out, or even the Mexicans. So, man, they're able to spend their money within their community so many times before they spend it outside of their community. So, hey, man, like always, I ain't going to talk to y'all too long, man. I just wanted to definitely stop through so we could just give ourselves something to think about, and just so it'll challenge us to continue to work harder to get better and spend more time just thinking outside the box, because I do want you to know you are a millionaire. So try to think of ways that you can become a millionaire quicker. That way, we don't have to spend our time working as long to get the $1 million that we're already going to receive. As always, man, a prop day left day. Genuine love to you all.